Tissue Doppler imaging, or TDI, can be taken from multiple sites in the heart, but in a standard echocardiogram there are three main sites that we use. All of them are from the apical views. So as always, you want to be as on axis as possible, and you don't want to be too foreshortened. Now on my machine I have a tissue Doppler mode, and then if I want to take my sample I have a tissue Doppler button. On some systems it might be your pulse wave button. Remember that TDI really is just pulse wave with different wall filters. So when you're using pulse wave to look at blood flow, you're looking at high velocity, low amplitude signal. When you're using tissue Doppler to look at myocardial movement, you're looking at high amplitude, low velocity movement. So if your machine doesn't have TDI enabled and it's going to cost you thousands of dollars to get it enabled, you can actually just adjust your wall filters, save that as a preset, and there you go, you've got your own homemade TDI mode. So I'll show you where we sample from. On the left ventricle we're typically doing this to look at diastolic function. That's usually why we're doing this. So I'm going to get my sample gate and put it at the insertion point here. Don't put it too low into the left atrium, put it here where the mitral valve joins the wall, the hinge point. I'm just going to adjust my PRF a little bit, my scale, so that I can see these waveforms nicely. And you should get a biphasic pattern, an E prime and an A prime. Now on my dog, on the septal side, it's not going to be quite so clear because she has a ventricular septal defect, and that does interfere with the trace a little bit. Again, you want to make sure you're right at the hinge point, not too far down, nice and on axis, and make sure you haven't opened up the outflow tract like this, because that's also going to give you an erroneous signal. Velocities in a normal animal will be a little bit lower on the septal side than on the lateral. That's probably as clean a signal as I'm going to get on my dog, but on most patients you shouldn't have any reason why it would not be as clear as on the other side. My dog's just a little bit unusual. Now let's move over to the right ventricle. So you can have an RV focused view if you like. Try and get it again nice and on axis. You're looking at longitudinal function, so you want that tricuspid annulus to be moving up from your perspective. Remember, you're up at the apex, you want to see it moving up towards you. And then you're going to put your TDI back on, and now you're placing it here where the tricuspid valve is inserting into the RV free wall. Now the difference here is that you're not so worried about your E and A primes. Instead, you want to be looking at S prime, which is your movement above the baseline. Because when we're looking at the right side, we're using TDI to look at RV systolic function. Very rarely are we looking at right ventricular diastology. So it's the systolic movement that we're most interested in on this side. I hope this video was useful to you in seeing where you place your sample gates for the optimal TDI trace. If you're really getting into your echocardiography, which you probably are if you've checked out a video on tissue Doppler imaging, and you're not already on our program, please check out the information in the description below. You can book a call with me anytime to discuss where you are with your echo journey right now and where you want to be, and also find out more about what we offer in terms of not only initial teaching, but ongoing training and mentorship. As I'm sure you know, taking the measurements is only one small part of the puzzle. Being able to interpret those measurements afterwards in the context of your whole echocardiogram is really where the learning begins.